Welcome to the 2021 Excellence in Surveying and Spatial Information Awards. Introducing Lee Finlay, President of the Institution of Surveyors, New South Wales.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to the 2021 New South Wales Excellence in Surveying and Spatial Information Awards. It's often said that we live in interesting times, however none more so than the past 2 years, as we have had to learn to live with the consequences of the COVID virus. Many have suffered and sadly there have been lives lost. Our work and personal lifestyle have been disrupted in ways that few could have comprehended. An early casualty was the difficult decision to cancel this event last year due to the uncertainty of the impact of COVID and the inability to gather at indoor venues. However, this year the EISSI committee was determined to hold the awards, albeit in a very different format, as you can witness before you today. Our industry has continued to provide valuable services during the pandemic under difficult circumstances, which is typical of the resilience of those who work in our industry. I'd like to welcome the Surveyor General of New South Wales, Narelle Underwood, who will give an opening address following this introduction. This is a collaborative event organised by the Institution of Surveyors New South Wales and the Association of Consulting Surveyors New South Wales. A warm welcome to the President of ACS, Andrew Halmarrick. Today is an opportunity to acknowledge and celebrate excellence in surveying and spatial information through projects undertaken by firms throughout New South Wales and individual efforts by surveyors and spatial professionals in the past 2 years. We are now in our 24th year and the awards go from strength to strength as witnessed by the record number of entries received for this year's awards. Our industry has much to be proud of and the services that we collectively provide across a wide range of diverse applications of surveying and spatial technology deliver essential building blocks to industry and services in the state of New South Wales. You will be stunned by the complexity and creativity of the projects submitted for these awards. I'd like to acknowledge our key sponsors, which you will see on the screens during this afternoon's event, but a special mention to C.R. Kennedy, our platinum sponsor, who has been a long-time supporter not only of this event, but many surveying and spatial seminars and congresses throughout New South Wales and Australia. Such events as these do not happen without an enormous effort beforehand in the organisation and presentation. This year EISSI New South Wales had the responsibility of putting this event together, and I would like to thank our staff, Amy, Maria and Sheila, for their hard work over many months having to deal with the ever-changing logistical difficulties of the COVID pandemic. I would also like to take a moment to thank the judges for their meticulous work in reviewing all the entries and debating the various merits across the categories. The judges this year were Vicky Tester, David Jobe, Andrew Halmarrick, Des Mooney, John Minahan and myself. Thank you all for giving up your valuable time. Please enjoy this afternoon, celebrate the success of our colleagues, not just the winners, but all those who have entered the awards. For those who didn't enter, please consider doing so in the future. Thank you, enjoy the rest of the proceedings, and please stay online to celebrate with the winners in our virtual drinks.
Introducing Narelle Underwood, New South Wales Surveyor General.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'd like to start by acknowledging the traditional custodians of all the lands on which we work and live. For me, that's the Dawarl people. I recognise their continuing connection to land, water and community, and I pay respect to elders past and present, and extend that respect to any First Nations people who are joining us today. It's a shame that we can't all be together and celebrate the Excellence in Surveying and Spatial Information Awards for the second year in a row. It's definitely a highlight of my calendar and one of the events I enjoy most as a Surveyor General. It's an excellent opportunity to celebrate and promote just some of the amazing projects and achievements within our profession and an excellent social event. I'd like to thank everyone who took the time to prepare and make a submission for consideration. I understand there are a record number of entries and this in itself needs to be celebrated. Congratulations to all the winners and highly commended. I look forward to hearing more about your projects and achievements over the coming months. It has been a challenging couple of years and I look forward to being able to celebrate with you all in person in next year. Until then, see you later.
Welcome bronze sponsors, Acumentis, Beveridge Williams, Burton and Field, CMS Surveyors, Craig and Rhodes, Country Surveyors Association, Dial Before You Dig, FYFE, Grinsell and Johns, Land Team, Reigate, LTS, Monteith and Powies, SDG, Subdivision Certifiers. Welcome to our silver sponsor, Australian Consulting Surveyors Insurance Society. Welcome to our gold sponsors, AusSearch, Institution of Surveyors New South Wales Cumberland Group, Transport for New South Wales, Spatial Services, New South Wales Land Registry Services, Transport for New South Wales, TSS Total Surveying Solutions. And welcome to our platinum sponsor, CR Kennedy. Infrastructure and Construction, sponsored by Transport for New South Wales. This award recognises those projects that have contributed to planning, designing, developing construction and/or infrastructure. Maplestone, Pressure Irrigated Horticulture Development. PHL Surveyors, Gary Polkinghorn and Brett Polkinghorn. Crown Hotel Resort Sydney, CMS Surveyors, Andrew Cummins. Initial sealing of the Silver City and Cobb Highways, Casey Surveying and Design Proprietary Limited. Thomas Casey, Matthew Parker and Caleb Allen. Jane Street Mulgoa Road Infrastructure Upgrade. Linton Surveys, Taylor Pedone, Patrick Nakul and Aaron Williams. Stadium Australia, Repurposing an Icon. Reigate, Michael Brown, Chris Doherty and Stephanie Beck. Winner number 1, Thomas Casey, Matthew Parker and Caleb Allen for Casey Surveying and Design. And winner number 2, Andrew Cummins for CMS Surveyors. The judges were unanimous in their decision to award joint winners in this category. Although these two projects are diametrically opposed in their nature and technical challenges, they both applied strategic approaches to solve numerous and varied surveying issues to achieve optimal outcomes for their clients.
G'day. On behalf of myself, Matt and Caleb, we'd like to thank the EISSI judging panel for making what I'm going to call a fairly brave decision. A lot of thank yous to get through to Matt and Caleb. Firstly, my two permanent employees from 2018 through to now. The two guys that have been out there putting up with me, shedding the boot leather with me, putting up with the dust, the flies, the rain, the heat, the dust storms. Guys, thank you very, very much for your efforts. I couldn't put this nomination in without putting you on the nomination list as well. To our casual staff that we took out for the odd extra pair of hands or feet, to Awen Hansen, thank you. Timothy Powell, Oliver Garrett, Angus Forsyth and Marianne Casey, your efforts have to be acknowledged here as well. Obviously, we couldn't do any of this without our client, Transport for New South Wales. Massive, massive thank you to both Anthony Stewart and Simon Lewis, the two survey managers from Parks that we've dealt with. Also, RMS staff, the rest of the Parks survey crew, the design team from Parks, the Broken Hill Engineering team and the 3 road crews we've kept running for the last 3.5 years. 1 from Hay, 2 from Broken Hill. Everybody's worked so well together to get this done. To the communities of Ivanhoe, Wilcannia, Tibooburra and Packsaddle, thank you very much for keeping us housed and fed and watered. It's been an absolute pleasure and a privilege to be out there working for you. We ummed and ahed a little bit about putting this nomination in the first place. It probably isn't as technically advanced as probably some of the other nominees, I would imagine. But as a body of work, we thought it stood up pretty well against the criteria, and obviously the panel has thought that as well. And that, I think, I'm referring to when I say it's a bit of a brave decision, but we certainly appreciate it. We understand we're joint winners with the Barangaroo Tower team. That sounds like a fascinating project. I can't wait to see a bit more about it. To be joint winners with them seems a little bit appropriate. I imagine when comparing the two, the judging panel didn't find a lot to compare. They are so diametrically opposed. It's probably kind of perfect. I hope we can get to celebrate in person in 2022, which brings me to last thanks. Thank you to the sponsors, the EISSI sponsors that have. Thank you for hanging around the pandemic, and I sincerely hope you are involved again next year. But until then, I can guarantee you that I will shortly find myself on Packsaddle Hill with a six-pack of something cold, and with this award, and I'll say cheers to the far western New South Wales, cheers to its highways, and cheers to its town, and cheers to the wide western sunsets. Thank you very, very much.
Hi, I'm Andrew Cummins, one of the directors at CMS Surveyors. I'm really pleased to accept this award on behalf of the whole team here at CMS. I'd also like to thank the Institution of Surveyors and ACS New South Wales for continuing to showcase excellence in the industry by staging the annual EISSI Awards. This award was for construction and infrastructure. Our project, shown here, was the Crown Hotel Resort at Barangaroo in Sydney. The casino, hotel and apartment tower is 71 stories high, and at 275 metres is Sydney's tallest building. This was a complex structure to build. All the columns were pitched at 4 degrees off vertical, and all the slab edges were curved. This architectural design led to an extraordinary amount of building movement. The survey processes involved with capturing and monitoring this movement was the subject of the EISSI Award, which CMS is accepting today. The 3-year project really was a fantastic thing to be a part of. CMS worked closely with many subcontractors from right across the industry: formworkers, concreters, electricians, plumbers, and tilers. Our relationship with our client, Lend-Lease, was one that was built on trust and a shared commitment to excellence in high-rise construction. Finally, and most importantly, I'd like to thank those who contributed to the success of this amazing project. In particular, our lead surveyors Tim Guest, Andrew Irwin, and Roland Christener. And also to Jordan, Hamish, Harry, Brian, Siva and Fred. So on behalf of my fellow directors Stuart Soltow, David Lovell and Stuart McAvoy, CMS looks forward to providing a positive contribution to the surveying industry in the years ahead. Cheers and thanks.
Extra Dimension and Innovation, sponsored by Spatial Services. This award recognises how innovative techniques in surveying, spatial information, mapping, cartography, design, planning and software development achieve exceptional outcomes and/or solve unusual problems. 131 Henry Street, Penrith. C&A Surveyors and Durkin Construction. Christopher Hill and Tristan Smythe, C&A Surveyors. Gary Ilali, Durkin Construction. Depth of Cover Survey, Jamina Secondary Gas Network. BCE Surveying Proprietary Limited and Jamina Proprietary Limited. Adam Masters, Ben Smith, Mark Preedy, Bill Catalano, Robert Campbell, Larissa Villa-Boas, Mustafa Karakanta, Pratibha Joshi, Stuart Turnbull, Daniel Hall, Nick Barron, and Vaughan Myers. Lachlan's Line Pedestrian Bridge, CMS Surveyors, Chris Lamour, Felix Zhu, Stacey Mitchell. Modern Survey of the Colonial Water Tunnel, Cecil Hills. Transport for New South Wales, Nick Fozuni. Parramatta Light Rail, James Roos Drive Bridge install. Parramatta Connect, CPB Contractors and Downer Joint Venture. Ryan Nielsen. Sydney Metro West, survey adjusted cadastral model using Land XML, RPS Australia East, Hong Yu, The Royal Flush, SDG, Ernest Lai. And the winner is Chris Lamore, Felix Zhu, Stacey Mitchell for CMS Surveyors. This project comprised a number of unique challenges in both the construction and final placement of the double helix bridge in a prominent and difficult location. The expertise in using a number of technologies allowed the project team to not only complete the project in an efficient and accurate manner, but to overcome numerous technical challenges along the way.
Yes, Stacey, that's it. In the spirit of the last 18 months, I think that is an appropriate background for this presentation, which is definitely going on somewhere in a nightclub somewhere, while Felix is simultaneously in a fancy office at the top of a skyscraper. But here it is, the 2021 Excellence in Surveying Spatial Information Awards for Extra Dimension and Innovation for our project Auckland's Line Pedestrian Bridge. Nice, Stacey, yes. Some relevant backgrounds behind us, which we did that project for S&L Steel, which is a photo of in the background. And I'd like to thank everyone at CMS and especially Felix. You put in a lot of hard work with this project and wrote some amazing code, solved some really tricky problems. What do you think? There's one for everyone?
Yeah, that's cool.
You too?
It's all for all of us. And
hang on, if
everyone
you
at
put your hand
CMS.
to the side, we can pretend that we're, if you just put your hand out that way, other way, and I'll hand it to you. No, other side, yeah. And,
This side?
And, just put it down on your lap. There you go. Perfect. Yeah, that one. And, Stacey, I'll grab your one too. Here it is. And yours is coming in from the top, so I'll just kind of, if you want to put your hand up over there, just in the middle there, a bit further to you, and I'll hand that over and just quickly take it down in front of you. Yep, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Stacey, thanks very much for your effort out on site.
No problems.
Yeah.
Glad I could help.
Yeah, and thanks everyone at CMS for giving us the support and the time to put the entry together. It's a fair bit of work, so we appreciate it too. And thanks to the sponsors and the judges who have been through all of those award entries and especially 2 years worth. So appreciate the effort that's gone in there. Anything else, boys? I think
Just
back to the club and get the champagne flowing.
Yep.
Sweet.
Okay.
Community and People, sponsored by New South Wales Land Registry Services and EISSI Limited. This award recognises those individuals or companies who have undertaken the design of projects, developed products or programs that contribute to the improvement and amenity of a locality or the environment. Effectively managing survey infrastructure in the City of Sydney. City of Sydney, Donald James Urquhart, Paul Gerard Corrie and Errol Teakin. Mid-North Coast Flood Recovery. RPS Australia East, Joshua Morgev and James Marshall. Surveying and Bushfire Recovery. ICD Asia Pacific, Peter Howie. And the winner is Peter Howie of ICD Asia Pacific. Peter's commitment and drive to assist the Bilpin community after the Mount Toma bushfires is an exemplary example of showcasing the value of the surveying profession to assist in the recovery of the community, bringing a positive focal point for them.
Hello everybody, I'm thrilled to have won this award for Community and People in the 2021 EISSI Awards. The project itself started off so simply. The idea was to go into the Mount Tomah area, look for subsurface reference marks and put protective stakes behind them so that they'd not be removed during the refencing phase. What ended up though was a project that ran for approximately 10 months, introduced the residents of Mount Tomah to their surveying history, and also we went on adventure walks and found some old relics and old survey bottle marks as part of the sharing the surveying history with them. I'd like to thank the residents of Mount Tomah for welcoming me into their community to be able to share their surveying history with them and provide them with a distraction during this difficult time in their lives. I'd also like to thank our ICD team, our CEO, Trevor Walker, for his never-ending support throughout this project, providing resources and also supplying the funds we needed to search documentation. I'd also like to thank Tim Vanderhout and Billion Stankovic for their amazing support as well, as they've helped bring this project to fruition. I'd also like to encourage all surveyors, please copy this project. It's a wonderful project to share the history of surveying, to basically talk about who their surveyor was. We went back to 1833 looking at old survey plans. And as many of you are aware, when I've shared this information in seminars and webinars throughout New South Wales, Victoria and Western Australia, we've been able to share with you some of the amazing milestones and achievements that occurred. Again, I just want to express how exciting it's been to get this award. Essentially, it's reinforcing that a project like this is a worthwhile project, can bring amazing outcomes to all involved. And again, I'm thrilled that we've won this. Thank you.
Rural Cadastral Surveying and Land Titling, sponsored by AusSearch. This award recognises an individual or organisation's ability to solve the complexities and overcome the difficulties encountered in the definition of rural boundaries and the creation of land titling in New South Wales. Cadastral Sensing, Aboriginal Land Claim 3286, Beecroft Peninsula. DPIE, Crown Land Survey Team. Matthew Gregg and Michael Outen. Cadastral Surveying. It's not always about millimetres. The art versus science often comes into play. Land Team Australia, Greg Goodman and Paul Davis Race. Defining Portion 28. Mr. Surveyor Tom Turner, founder of New South Wales Country Surveyors Association. RAP Surveying, Ross Peasley. The Little Cat-Eye Creek Cadaster, redefining original Crown grants. Individual entry, Fred D. Berlin. Highly commended, Cadastral Sensing, Aboriginal Land Claim 3286, Beecroft Peninsula. Matthew Gregg and Michael Outen of DPIE, Crown Land Survey Team. The judges have awarded this entry a highly commended due to the high quality of the project in this category in resolving a complex rural survey. And the winner is Greg Goodman and Paul Davis Race of Land Team Australia. A very complex project with multiple challenges that highlighted the entrant's ability to solve and overcome the difficulties encountered in defining rural boundaries, in combination with recognition of Aboriginal land claims and their contribution to local communities.
Greg Goodman, Manager of Land Team, here today with Paul Davis Race, our Senior Registered Surveyor, in a very fitting outlook here with the Port Kembla Core Station and Wollongong and the steelworks and the mountain escarpment behind us. We're here today to say a few words about our team and winning the Rural Category Award in the 2021 EISSI Awards.
Paul, you love your work and you've been involved in a number of interesting projects that you've entered into the Excellence Awards over the years. And this year, I believe there were 44 projects entered throughout the categories. And Land Team and yourself were successful in winning the Rural Surveying Award. What made this exceptional?
Yeah, well, a couple of years ago, Crown Lands instructed us to do a survey for an Aboriginal land claim down at Womboyne, and as soon as I saw this job, I knew that it was one that appealed to me. It's on the beautiful south coast of New South Wales. It's surrounded by the ocean and the lake and the mountains. And I could tell that there was going to be a number of interesting aspects to surveying involved. For example, there's an extensive 3 kilometre lake frontage that was going to require a mean high water mark definition. Some of the boundaries hadn't been surveyed since the 1880s, and in fact some of the boundaries adjoining the national park had never been surveyed. So, those factors, and throw in the black summer bushfires and COVID, it was always going to be an interesting and challenging project.
Yeah, true. Paul, and it was it really, the whole award and the survey field work is really testament to how an expert registered surveyor, who this bloke is, can step outside the science of surveying and really apply the art of surveying. And the project allowed us to do this. So it really is also testament to the art of surveying.
Paul, do you feel it was more than just the surveying that made this an enjoyable project for you?
Definitely, yeah. I mean, I love this kind of work, getting out into the wild and remote areas. The whole team down there worked really hard on it, but, it's kind of like almost being on holidays working in an environment like that. Also, the local community down there, there's a very small but tight-knit local community, and they're all really interested and supportive of what we were doing. They gave us a lot of help, both local knowledge for surveying and just general. Like, for example, at one stage they lent us the dune buggy so that we could get access down to the beach and not have to lug all our surveying gear a couple of kilometres over the sand dune. So, getting involved like that was really good. Also, the local Aboriginal Land Council had been trying to get this settled for a number of years, and just to be involved with that final stage of it, preparing the plan and creating the title so that they could finally have that settled, that was also very satisfying.
Yeah, true, Paul. A lot of what I took from the project, apart from the surveying, was there's a whole community down there in Wonbine North that are never going to ask what a surveyor does again. They really got involved, and we involved them, and it was great for surveying. It was great for land team. It was great for our team. Great for yourself, who performed really well down there. And the final word, I guess, just to Crown Lands for providing us with the opportunity. It was great. Really, really excited about this whole award.
Surveying Project Management, sponsored by TSS, Total Surveying Solutions. This award recognises the skills, knowledge and techniques used by an individual or organisation to manage an engineering work or other project to deliver the desired outcomes. A densified vertical control network to support groundwater studies at Thirlmere Lakes, University of New South Wales. Craig Roberts. Students involved: Angelo Beretta, Executive; Dominic Beretta, Executive; Philip Buey, Luke Chivers, Patrick Etwell, MD, Brian Fu, Kirk Georgian, Dean Kukot Ari, Jeffrey Lee, Joshua Mail, Oliver Sam, William Tiang, Kelvin Tong, Vincent Tran, Carl Wang, Anderson Zhang, and Dennis Zhang. Riverstone Scheduled Lands, Precinct A, Stages 1 to 3. RPS Australia East, Sandra Hoffman and Tony Atkins. Subsurface Acquisition for WestConnex Stage 3, Transport for New South Wales, John Dwyer, Kitsana Panya, David Burke, Chris Arneson, Iwa Herden, and Yong-Soo Kim. The Waterfront, Shell Cove, Beveridge Williams, Hannah Martin, Michael Coleman, and David Smith. And the winners are Hannah Martin, Michael Coleman, and David Smith for Beveridge Williams. This entrant showcased the contributions the firm provided to the development, being the one port of call for all surveying and project management matters over the life of the project, allowing the client to achieve critical deadlines with confidence.
Thank you for the Survey Project Management Award, EISSI. It's really exciting to be recognised for our work at Shell Cove Development, particularly as we know there were some really strong entrants this year, so we really appreciate the award. Shell Cove has been a fantastic project for us to work on over the last few years. It's thrown up a few challenges along the way, Managing 5 coordinate datums at the same time certainly kept us on our toes. But over the whole journey, I think the key has been keeping that relationship and the communication going with our clients. And I really want to say thank you to our clients, Frasers, and the entire team down at Shell Cove. They have been great to work with. Thank you for trusting us when we threw up a few random recommendations along the way. And it's really good to see the town centre particularly coming together, the whole Shell Cove development looking so good. And also thank you so much to the whole team at Beveridge Williams, Mick and Dave, of course, but also everyone else who helped out along the way. We had, I think, almost everybody in New South Wales dipped in at some point. So team effort. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and I'll second those comments. It's been an amazing project to be a part of. We've had an amazing team working behind us, especially Hannah. Has done a fantastic job kind of running the project for us, and Dave as well has had a major part involved in it. So, look, it's fantastic to accept this award. It's fantastic to be recognised, and I suppose it's a bit of a completion for us in working on a fantastic project with an amazing client, and to get this award just kind of lifts us up a little bit. So, yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, and repeating kind of what the guys have already said, but it's probably a big one is a massive congratulations to Hannah for running a project so well. She was really the central focus for everyone. Really glad I got brought into it to support and help run it and bring it to where it is right now with a few more years still to go. But yeah, a really good project we've been involved with. Thank you again.
Thank you. Great project and great team.
University Student Project of the Year, sponsored by CR Kennedy. University students residing in New South Wales are invited to submit their final year projects for consideration. A Base for Better Boundaries, Rick Carruthers, University of New South Wales. An investigation into ground deformation monitoring techniques utilised in urban tunnel excavations and the root causes of surface subsidence. Brady Renger, University of New South Wales. Augmented reality applied to subsurface utilities. Vincent Tran, University of New South Wales. Spatial epidemiology of chest pain patients visiting Liverpool Hospital, New South Wales. Daniel Fowler, University of New South Wales. And the winner is Brady Renger, University of New South Wales. The judges were impressed with the student's ability to develop a new technique which can be used in real-life applications in subsidence monitoring, which he has been able to successfully demonstrate over multiple test runs.
It's been an incredible surprise to have received this award. A lot of blood, sweat and tears went into my project, so I'm incredibly humbled and grateful to be holding it in my hands at the moment. 2020 was a really tough year. I'm sure you can understand why. And so to be doing a thesis through all of that was quite the challenge. And everyone that was of any assistance is greatly appreciated. And first and foremost, my thesis supervisor, Dr. Craig Roberts from UNSW. He was an amazing help with all questions that I had through research, through testing, and the thousands of probably what are dumb questions now that he still answered and still enthusiastically typed up in an email, all the Zoom meetings that we had. I also want to thank my team at Geodata for all their handiwork and assistance and enthusiasm. In particular, my boss, Steve Garland, he was my best trainee, and he'll tell you that, and he knows that. So, big thank you to you, Steve, on your boss. Also, just shout out Luke Pearce, Alex Kirk, Daniela Shonganesi. Thank you so much. And also just want to give a big thank you to Institute of Surveyors, New South Wales, and Consulting Surveyors. It's not easy to put an event on through a lockdown, and look, you've managed to pull it off, and here we are. So I know it's not how it's intended to be, but really your hard work's appreciated by all of award recipients and all attendees of this event, I'm sure. So I just wanted to put that in there and say Thank you.
Grant Kilpatrick TAFE Student of the Year 2020 and 2021. Sponsored by the Institution of Surveyors New South Wales Cumberland Group. Representatives from the TAFE system are invited to nominate their top TAFE students from New South Wales currently studying a surveying or mapping course. And the winner of the Grant Kilpatrick TAFE Student of the Year for 2020 is Finlay Hegarty. Finn has excelled at his studies whilst managing work commitments, and he demonstrates diligence and maturity amongst his peers. In both field and classroom, he could always be relied upon to listen to instructions and perform work to the best of his ability. Communications with his employer confirm what we observe. Finn is an asset to his employer and a role model for other trainees.
Hi all. Firstly, I would like to say I'm extremely honoured to have been selected as the recipient of the TAFE Student of the Year Award. I would like to thank the Institution of Surveyors New South Wales for choosing me to receive this award. It is greatly appreciated. I would also like to thank Wollongong TAFE, Hunter Valley Training Company and Shoalhaven City Council for assisting me with all of my studies and for allowing me the opportunities to win such awards. Without them, I would not be here today accepting this award. Thanks.
And the winner of the Grant Kilpatrick TAFE Student of the Year for 2021 is Ben Ferguson. Ben has proven himself capable with technology and adaptable and willing to learn new software and apply modern survey method for data capture. He is a great example of what a rewarding career the surveying profession offers to young students who are willing to put in the effort.
Hi all, Ben here from the Western Sydney Airport project with EISSI. I'd like to give a big thanks to EISSI for awarding me Grant Kilpatrick Student of the Year. I was stoked when Karen, my teacher and mentor, gave me a call and told me of my nomination. So big thanks Karen and the whole team down at Albury-Wodonga TAFE for running an amazing course and keeping me captivated through both the Certificate 4 and Diploma of Surveying. I'd also like to give a big thanks to my managers at EISSI for giving me a step into the field of surveying with their cadetship program and guiding me through both work and study. Balancing the online material with full-time work and social activities was often a test to my engagement, but luckily I found the coursework very interesting, allowing me to dive deep on research and provide passionate answers, which I'm glad has been recognised. The award has been a great confidence boost for me and my future in surveying. I start a Bachelor of Surveying with USQ in February and look forward to bringing the same energy through to completion and the rest of my time in the field. So thanks once again EISSI for the award, and I look forward to meeting everyone in person. Thank you.
We now take a moment to acknowledge friends and colleagues no longer with us. This event would not have been possible without the kind contribution of our sponsors, and in particular C.R. Kennedy as our platinum partner over the past few years. With your continued support, we are confident that we can build on the record number of attendees at future awards events and highlight the excellence of our profession and practice in the surveying and spatial information industry. Young Surveyor of the Year, sponsored by the Institution of Surveyors, New South Wales. The judges considered the 3 nominees of those under the age of 35 who have been particularly active in their promotion and support of the profession in the last 12 months, and their history of professional and community involvement over the recent years. And the Young Surveyor of the Year for 2021 is Rick Williams. Rick is a mature and responsible young man who is an asset to the surveying profession. He is a quiet achiever who consistently goes above and beyond to assist other younger members with their career development and to promote and support the industry. He was heavily involved with the Surveying Society whilst at university and continues to serve the industry with his involvement with the Hunter Manning Group. Rick has supported his rural community by serving as a member of the State Emergency Service and the Rural Fire Service, and as a member of the Army Reserve. Rick is a wonderful asset to the New South Wales surveying profession, and we are delighted to be able to award him the Young Surveyor of the Year for 2021.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Rick Williams, and I'm honoured to be this year's 2021 Young Surveyor of the Year award recipient. Like many other young surveyors, I'm enthusiastic about the industry and passionate about my career. I too walk past survey marks on the street and point them out on the way to dinner or pose for a photo with any unassuming trig pillar in sight. But my passion for surveying extends to giving my all back to the industry. During my time at the University of Newcastle, I reformed the Surveying Society to allow students, myself included, exposure to industry professionals and knowledge that would otherwise never really have. I was also a tutor for a few surveying classes at the uni and was also a student advisor on the board of the Surveying Task Force. It was also at uni that I became a committee member of the Hunter Manning Group of the Institute, and I continue to enjoy that role today. I've attended a number of high school careers days over the years to promote our industry and encourage the next generation of surveyors. I've been fortunate enough to use my surveying skills both here and overseas whilst on deployment with the Australian Army Reserves. In 2016, I was deployed to Malaysia and aided in the construction of military infrastructure. And more recently, in 2020, during the terrible New South Wales bushfires, I assisted the military effort on the south coast to survey the level of structural fire damage to timber bridges. I became registered in 2020 and look forward to all that being registered brings. I would like to thank Tata Solander, where I've worked for a number of years, for assisting in my registration process and always encouraging everything that I do. I would also like to thank my mentor, Mr. John Minahan, who early on inspired me with his passion and enthusiasm for the profession and everything that is surveying. I very much look forward to what my career will bring in the future. Thanks again.
Professional Surveyor of the Year, sponsored by the Institution of Surveyors, New South Wales. The judges considered the 4 nominees of professional surveyors who have been particularly active in their promotion and support of the profession in the last 12 months, and their history of professional and community involvement over recent years. And the winner of the Professional Surveyor of the Year for 2021 is Paul Mather. When you mention the name Paul Mather, passionate is the first word that comes to mind. For many years, Paul has been a fixture in the surveying industry from private practice to local government, and now in the insurance of the profession. This job has taken Paul all over the country, meeting with surveyors, becoming a familiar face to many and a true advocate for the profession. Paul has been incredibly active in his promotion and support of the industry across both New South Wales and Australia. Paul was an initiator and a key driver of the scheme now known as the Consulting Surveyors National Professional Standards Scheme, with his tenacity behind the initiative driving every step of the way. His greatest contribution made to the industry in recent years is his implementation of this scheme, as establishing it was no easy task. Outside the profession, Paul has also dedicated his personal time over the years to the Rotary Club in Charleston, helping those in need. He's also a keen musician and a member of the New South Wales PCYC Brass Band, which plays at Anzac Day, Christmas and community celebrations. It is with great pleasure that we award the Professional Surveyor of the Year for 2021 to Paul Mather.
Hi everybody, and thank you for the introduction. Well, when I first found out that I had been awarded the Professional Surveyor of the Year for this year, I was incredibly surprised, amazed and deeply honoured and humbled to receive the award. For those, because we're not in person, I'll just throw this up on the screen. There it is, EISSI 2021 Professional Surveyor of the Year. It's a great, absolute great trophy that they've given, and it's very heavy and fantastic. I seriously am very, very, surprised and absolutely humbled by this recognition. I've always loved the profession of surveying. I've always enjoyed the company of my colleagues. I haven't agreed with everybody all the time, but that's life. But I've always found surveyors to be a fabulous bunch of people. They're great colleagues. It's a great profession. I first started getting involved in the profession growing up in Newcastle when surveyor Bob Powies lived across the road from me in Merriweather. So I first got introduced to surveying as a career and a concept way, way many years ago. I've basically been working in surveying now for almost 40 years and being involved in, first of all, I got very much involved with country surveyors, then consulting surveyors, of course, the institution of surveyors as a student at Newcastle University. I really enjoy the company of surveyors, as I've said. They're a really good bunch. It's hard sometimes serving the public and in the public interest. I absolutely appreciate this award. I'm quite, as I said before, I'm quite amazed by it. I really am, and I've certainly joined some good company. I'd like to thank the Institution of Surveyors New South Wales and Consulting Surveyors New South Wales for, as a joint collaboration, having run EISSI for many, many years now. I've been to most of them. They're really good. They're fantastic. The whole profession should endorse the concept of EISSI. It's great to acknowledge the clever people and the great projects surveyors do in their workplace every day. They're a pretty fabulous lot. Thank you to the organisers of today, this afternoon. It's trying times with COVID, and I very much appreciate everything that's being done. Once again, thank you for receiving this award. I'm again deeply humbled by it, and I congratulate all the other winners in all the other categories. There's some amazing projects out there. Thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you.
Professional Organisation of the Year, sponsored by the Association of Consulting Surveyors, New South Wales. Nominations were called for any New South Wales organisation that provides land surveying services to the community through a consulting business or a public sector agency. 4 organisations provided details on how they delivered excellence in client services, have an exceptional company culture, and were actively involved in the profession and wider community during the 2020-21 financial year. Beveridge Williams, Monteith Powies, Parker Scanlon Proprietary Limited, and SDG. And the Professional Organisation of the Year for 2021 is Parker Scanlon Proprietary Limited. Parker Scanlon is a deserving recipient of this award. They are an emerging multidisciplinary surveying firm of 30 staff members that delivers excellence in client services while prioritising building an exceptional company culture proven by their high staff engagement and retention rates. They are a passionate member of the surveying industry and enthusiastically engaged with the wider community.
Thank you to the institution, ACS, and to the sponsors for making this event the success that it is. The previous 2 years have certainly been interesting for Parker Scanlon. Despite the challenges, it has been the most rewarding period in the company's history. So much growth, creativity, resilience, and a determination to succeed. Throughout this period, our theme of attitude and gratitude was woven into everything that we did. We found that with a healthy workplace culture and a positive attitude, we could achieve greatness despite any of the obstacles. I have an immense sense of gratitude being part of the surveying industry and to work with such an amazing team of professionals. A few notable acknowledgements. Firstly, to my wife, Monica, who has helped me grow the business over the last 15 years and supported me all the way, and to our 2 daughters. Eternal gratitude for your loving support. I also acknowledge my co-founder, Bill Parker, who I'm sure is looking very fondly down tonight. So he used to love coming to these awards. I'm very proud to accept Parker Scanlon's award of Professional Organisation of the Year. It acknowledges the contributions made by the staff, former and current, the executive team, and our clients. A big thank you. As we say, Parker Scanlon, where good people come to get things done.
The Sir Thomas Mitchell Award, sponsored by C.R. Kennedy. This award is presented to the most outstanding overall project, and the winner of the Sir Thomas Mitchell Award for 2021 is cadastral surveying. It's not always about millimetres. The art versus science often comes into play. Land Team Australia. Greg Goodman and Paul Davis Race.
Whoa, this is super exciting, Paul. Firstly, to win the Rural Category Award of the EISSI Awards for 2021, and now the Sir Thomas Mitchell Award, which is fantastic.
Yeah, it sure is. It's every year there's so many great submissions into the EISSI Awards, and to have ours considered by the judges to be the best, it's really an honour. I mean, we work in private practice and there's a lot of constraints, we have to make a profit and everything, but for me, I think I get the most satisfaction out of my work for knowing that I'm doing a good quality job. And I'm lucky to be working at Land Team where, they can indulge me a bit and give me a bit of leeway to spend the time and have the time to do good quality work, and to have that recognised by other surveyors and judges, it's very satisfying.
True, and I'll agree with you there, Paul. This is a great, very, very, very excited. The EISSI Awards are very special to myself because during the years 06, 07, 08, when I was president of ISNSW, myself and our board of directors put a lot of effort into really lifting the profile of the EISSI Awards. Did a lot of work on getting sponsorship. My colleagues got C.R. Kennedy on board, and they're still here today, and we structured the sponsorship levels. So it's very exciting to be here again on the dais, winning the Sir Thomas Mitchell Award this year, knowing that in 2009 we also won the Sir Thomas Mitchell Award through our Tablelands branch at Goulburn for 10 years of work on the Woodlawn bioreactor. So it really shows that a small company can really kick some butt when there's been 44 nominations in the awards, and some of those are from the big players across Australia and internationally. So we've done really well. The team's done really well. Paul's done really well, and we're having a great celebration at some stage when we can. Yay! Yes! Finish off, Land Team submission into the Rural Category Awards is going to go up on the Land Team website, and I do really believe that for any candidate surveyors in the rural category, if you get onto our website and grab hold of this and have a look at it, it really does outline the science and art of surveying in a rural outcome, and just how the art can often provide you with the answer you're going to be looking for. So please feel free to read it, and there's a lot of fantastic information in there.
Thank you for joining us at the 2021 Excellence in Surveying and Spatial Information Awards. We now welcome Andrew Halmarick, President of the Association of Consulting Surveyors New South Wales, to close the evening.
In closing the 2021 EISSI Awards, I would like to congratulate the individual and business winners tonight. A fantastic achievement to be recognised by your peers in 2021. I would also like to thank the Institution of Surveyors New South Wales for hosting the event, and in particular their event team, led by Amy Lowe, for coordinating the awards and judges in this unique online format. Events like these can't be possible without sponsors, and I thank all the sponsors for your commitment to our industry and the EISSI Awards. It is important that ACS New South Wales takes the time to acknowledge the important role that business owners have played in managing and navigating our way through 2020 and 2021 during the COVID pandemic. I personally know how stressful it has been to keep teams and businesses running during the shutdowns, and know how the lack of certainty around income and staff availability can influence our ability to run our businesses. I have witnessed how resilient our businesses and industry have been, and it has been fantastic to see how many complex issues around mental health and resilience have been managed and resolved. So well done to all the business owners. I would like to personally acknowledge Paul Mather for being recognised as the Professional Surveyor of the Year for 2021. Paul has been an ACS board member for many years and has worked tirelessly for our profession around risk and insurance to ensure we are protected and respected as an industry. Paul, from your fellow ACS board members, well done and congratulations. It was also great to see one of our more recent ACS members, Parker Scanlon, being awarded Business of the Year for 2021. Well done and congratulations for all the hard work you have put into your business. In closing the EISSI Awards for 2021, I would like to congratulate all the winners and the organisation committee for putting on a unique and well-coordinated event. I look forward to the 2022 awards, which will be a live event and a return to normal, where we can once again gather and celebrate together. Good night and thank you.